when I did the compilation of you, I was really astounded with how many techniques you use and how quick you are, especially in Nevaza. So, how would you describe your fighting style?
My fighting style, I would just say that I try to be creative a lot. I wouldn't say that I'm naturally somebody with great coordination, and that, you know, that has its benefits and it has its negatives. But for me, I spend a lot of technical sessions like trying new techniques and try for a certain situation that I'm struggling with, to try and find a gap or something that I can, try and fill that with in my judo profile, my technical profile. So I spend a lot of time. I'd say I try like loads and loads of different techniques that you probably would never see me do in a competition. I'd say like 9 out of 10 techniques that I tried don't actually work, but I like to try a lot of them, and that's one thing like that keeps me really hungry and really enjoying judo, to experiment and try things, because an element of surprise is really important in judo and all sports. So I'd just say that I'm creative and determined. I think I try and throw a lot, but I can also win in a dogged fight where it's hard, and I just have to be tactically very, very clever as well, and outwork people as well. I think that's something that I can do, and push people and go deep into goal and score and beat people. So I think that's maybe one thing why I've been successful to a certain extent, is I've got a few different strings to my bow and I can win in a few different ways.
Do you really just do a lot of technique training, or do you try them just in randomly? What's your approach to it?
There's a lot of thought that goes into the techniques, and then when I'm then trying to be creative and find different options and techniques from that, I try a lot of things, but it's quite calculated with my approach, and it's not just try everything and see what happens. It's there's a lot of thought that goes into the options that I try. And one thing I also try to do is link things. So like the Uchimata will lead to an Ochigari, to a Kochigari, to a Sumigeshi. To, if this sort of thing doesn't work, everything's linked together. So I've got like contingency techniques from like my main technique, which may be Uchimata. But say, for example, I can't get both hands on for an Uchimata, then I need to find another attack, because especially in judo these days, if you're not attacking, you'll get judo so quickly. And so I had to find ways from that. But then also from situations where I've got my main grip and Uchimata, for example, doesn't work, then I'm trying to throw this right hand and the Kochigaki is there, for example, or I can't get the sleeve hand, so the Katagrima's there, So everything is linked together, and that's one thing that me and my coach really focus on, is like how things work together as a whole picture.
Let's move on to your change to Ireland. Like, how did this happen?
I've always been half, British, half Irish, and after the Rio Olympics, British Judo, they made a change and they wanted everybody to relocate to a new high performance centre in the Midlands. I had moved to my training base in Bath a long time before that, and just was very settled and just really rated my coach and the training environment there, and understandably didn't really want to move. But if you didn't move, you wouldn't be selected for any tournaments, and you wouldn't be funded. There's no way to be funded. So as you can imagine, it's really difficult to fund judo. It's very expensive. So I tried to make it work for a year, and tried to work and find ways to make ends meet. But it didn't work out. And if you're working a lot, you can't put enough time into judo. And if you're doing judo all the time, there's not also a lot of work that you can earn enough money from to, and you just end up somewhere in the middle, and it doesn't work either way. There's a phrase, like, if you try to catch two rabbits, you'll end up with neither. So after that year, I was still like the highest ranked British man at that time, and I didn't want to be difficult with British judo, but I just wanted to say, like, look, I think what I'm doing in Bath is working. I really want to stay here. Is there some sort of like deal we can come to? and they said no, unfortunately not. Either you self-fund or you move to Warsaw. And I said, well, how about if I could move and fight for Ireland? British Judo were very good to me. They allowed me to leave, and that's how it came about, really.
What for me, as when I googled you, so changed was in British Judo you don't have a beard, in Irish Judo, so the barber changed.
Yeah, but it's part of the contract with Irish Judo. We have to have a beard. No.
Would be an interesting contract. I understand that with a switch to Ireland. When you had to work, it's difficult to be at the level you want to be.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I think which helped. I think it's also like freedom. You know, I could relax and just train and do what I wanted to do with Ireland, and that took a lot of the pressure off, and I felt really free. Like you also said, I wasn't having to work anymore. I could just really focus and concentrate on judo. I've always been motivated and always want to do really well, but I think when you change country, you feel like a big motivation to do well for your new country, but also to prove that you've done the right thing. It's never like to prove anybody wrong or anything like that for me. It's always just like to prove to myself more than anything that I've done the right thing. Yeah, it's all ended up going really well so far.
Yeah, and you awarded them with a Grand Prix gold. How did you feel with winning the gold medal and being the first Irish judoka to do so?
Yeah, it was just happened all so quickly, you know, and it was, you know, so I was just really, really happy to have some success straight away, to sort of show to the people in Ireland, like, you know, I am a good judoka, and it just filled me with pride, you know, to do it, and, you know, listen to the Irish national anthem, and just, it was just, yeah, couldn't start it better, really.
You also mentioned it with the responsibility to be successful with the new country, but do you have a special responsibility because of the chance for Irish judo to develop a lot more?
Yeah, for sure. And like I that's one of the things I was a little bit nervous about, because I think there's always a stipulation with people changing country that people are going for the money, or they're going for, you know, and that's never my intention of how I wanted it to come across. But yeah, I wanted to make sure that me fighting for Ireland had some positive benefits to it, and I'm sure that it will, you know, and I hope people see that Irish judo is flourishing at the moment.
You already said that you had to work, so you don't work anymore, is that right?
No, I don't work so much. So the plan for me is to come back and take over the business, and probably my sister Megan will as well. When I finished school, I was 18, and I wanted to go and train in Bath then, but the view was always for me to come back and go back into the business. So I did a course in horticulture to be sort of trained and ready. So that was just for the year, but then I'd work on the weekends. And I did that until I was 25, so sort of like 7 years, sort of pretty much every weekend I'd be back working. You know, working at guns, I don't know, is outdoor work, is quite physically demanding anyway. So, you know, if you're training all week, then you know, working all weekend, you get to Monday again and you're even more tired, you're not recovered. So that's why I'm not really working for them at the moment, but in the future I will be, but now I don't need to.
Your sister is a judoka, she's quite successful, and you work with your parents. How is it to have your family always around you?
Oh yeah, it is good. We have a really good family relationship, and with my parents as well. And yeah, things are good. We're very lucky to have a close family unit, and we all like each other. So that's positive.
Good for siblings.
Yeah, in small doses though. Yeah.
It's also great to have always someone to discuss judo with, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. To have your sister who understands that, and yeah, it's really good. It's really good to have somebody that close who understands what you're going through and how difficult it can be.
And now you could go to the Olympics together, which is special, I think.
Yeah, I think it'd be really nice if we both could. And yeah, that would be really special, really special for our family. So and great for my mum as well, with it being for Ireland. So yeah, it's a really good time in the Fletcher household at the moment.
So let's talk about your Olympic experience, because you have been to the 2016 Olympics. So how was this for you?
It was a great experience. I really enjoyed it. The competition didn't go how I wanted it to, but you know, the Olympics is the biggest competition in judo. You know, it's really difficult, and I think the experience of going will be really important for this time. But the Olympics, I don't want to say strange, but it's quite a strange environment. Like, there's thousands of people all in this village, and you're just walking, and you're like, is that? And you like walk past like Michael Phelps or something, and then like Novak Djokovic is playing tennis, and you're just like, it's so amazing but really, really strange as well. People always say like you shouldn't go into the Olympic Village for too long before you compete, because it's so distracting, and it's so amazing, but it's there's all that to enjoy afterwards, basically. And like, if you're there too long, it's so distracting. It's so amazing, but it's like so much going on all the time, and there's so many like amazing athletes, and there's so, you know, it's such a different environment, but a great environment as well, you know. And I really, really enjoyed going, and it was a really great achievement for me to actually make it to the games. So, you know, last time, like, I just about qualified, you know, and I was really proud to qualify. But this time was definitely more around hopefully getting a medal and being around the medals, and yeah, and that's what I plan to do.